Hello friends, I am Rashi and today me and all my friends are get together here to tell you all about the Mauryan Empire. The Mauryan Empire is also said to be a very brave time period of Indian history. Today in this video we all will discuss the architecture, the administration, the rule of King Ashoka and of Chandragupta which took place in the Mauryan Empire. So let's go to a glorious journey of Mauryan Empire and learn something new about our Indian history. Thank you guys.
Hello everyone, I am Devika Gupta of class 9D and today I am going to talk about Alexander's invasions. This is an image of Alexander the Great. Invasions of India. The invasion of India lasted from 327 BC to 325 BC in India. This is Alexander last time leading his troops into the battle. Alexander started north and moved his way south. Invasion of India was successful and Alexander conquered nearly all of the India's subcontinent in north and west of India. Here is an image from the heard of the Battle of Issus in 333 BC. Proceeding down the Mediterranean coast, he took Tyre and Gaza after famous siege. Persian soldier from the Susa, Norway, Paris. Here is an image of Alexander the Great. Alexander's invasion of India. In 4th century BC, the Greeks and the Iranians fought for the supremacy of the world under the leadership of Alexander of Macedonia. The Greeks eventually destroyed the Iranian Empire. Alexander conquered not only Asia Minor and Iraq but also Iran. From Iran, he marched to India, obviously attracted by its great wealth. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Abid. Today I am going to tell you about Indica. He described India in his book named Indica, which is an account of Mauryan Indian by Megasthenes. He lived in Patliputra for 5 years. His book described organization of army, administration of Patliputra, economy, custom and religion of people. Administration of Patliputra. They have proper system for controlling. They have 4 provinces in the empire and each empire have one Kumara, the royal prince. Economy. Mauryan Empire was driven by agriculture, improved the economy by building centers for spinning and weaving. At first farmers were free of tax and crops collection, but later farmers have to contribute to work government and pay heavy taxes. Mauryan army. According to Megasthenes, the empire wielded a military of 6 lakh infantry, 30,000 cavalry, 8,000 chariots, and 9,000 war elephants.
Hello everyone, I'm Kushag Mishra of 9th and today I'm going to tell you about Shastra, which is sources of revenue. Arthashastra provides a detailed list of sources of revenue, which includes land revenue from mines and forests, revenues from manufactured goods of various kinds, tolls for bridges and roads, fine and license. The land tax varied from one third to one sixth of the produce. This revenue was spent on public figures, especially construction of roads, wells, and rest houses, and also for salary of large army and officials. So thank you guys for watching my video and hope you all understand my topic, which was on brief description about the Arthashastra. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Shikhar Gupta. Today I am going to tell you about rock edicts. A series of 14 rock edicts were discovered at a place such as Irangodi, Andhra Pradesh, Girnar, Gujarat, Sopara, Maharashtra, and Shehbazgiri, now in Peshawar district of Pakistan. Ashoka in Rock Edict 12 at Shehbazgiri prescribed following rules to be followed. First, non-violence and abstention from killing of living beings. Second, truthfulness. Third, obedience to the parents and elders. Fourth, respect towards teacher. Conquest of Kalinga was an important event of Ashoka's region. According to the Rock Edict 13, in the war about 100,000 people were killed and as many as 150,000 were taken as prisoners. The horror of the war awakened Ashoka's heart, the feeling of profound sorrow. The 13th Rock Edict say, the belongings of the god. The king considered victory by Dharma to be foremost victory. Thank you.
Everyone, my name is Pratibha and I am going to tell you about Sanchi Stupa. Sanchi Stupa is a great Buddhist complex which is situated on the hilltop at the Sanchi town in the Raisin district of Madhya Pradesh, India. It was built during the Mauryan period. It is famous for its simple hemispherical brick structure built over the relics of Buddha. It had a raised terrace comprising its base and a railing and a stone umbrella on the summit, which is also called the Chak. The great stupa is enclosed by a wooden railing which was replaced by a massive stone railing. There were 4 gateways on the 4 sides of the stupa. The gateways were lavishly covered with the magnificent sculptures. The main thing of the architecture of Sanchi Stupa is that the Sanchi Stupa reveals the high standard development in the artistic as well as in the architectural skill of the people during the Sangha period. Thank you.
Hello everyone, today I am going to tell you about Seleucus Nicator. As you know, Chandragupta expanded the territories of his empire, but the territories which were in the west of Indus were ruled by the Greek king Seleucus. He wanted to recover the Greek conquest in India as Alexander did. He crossed the Indus in 305 BC and hoped to march victoriously through the Punjab. The Mauryan armies rushed to the northwest and inflicted a crushing defeat on the invader. Seleucus was forced to retire and had to purchase peace by ceding to Chandragupta and territories of Herat, Kandahar, and of Kabul, which is now in Afghanistan. Chandragupta presented him with 500 war elephants. It is said Chandragupta married Princess Helen, the daughter of Seleucus. The Greek king maintained friendly relations with the Mauryan court and sent Megasthenes as an ambassador, who lived in Patliputra and wrote a great book on India.
Hello, my name is Anmol Singh. Today I am going to tell you a biography on King Ashoka and his conquest. First, we will read about King Ashoka and some overviews about him. In the history of world, there have been thousands of kings and emperors who call themselves their highness, their majesties, and the exalted majesties, and so on. They shone for a brief moment and quickly disappeared, but Ashoka shines and shines brightly like a bright star even unto this day. Ashoka was first ruler to unify all of India. He was also the first Buddhist king who, after his conversion to Buddhism, attempted to embrace non-violence and Buddhist principles as part of world policy. Today he is considered as one of the greatest leaders. Ashoka the Great ruled from 273 BC until 223 BC. Despite the acclaim held by H. G. Wells for many Americans, Ashoka is not well known. This hub is an effort to elucidate the achievements of historical figures. This is targeted to those who are not familiar with Ashoka. These are pictures of Mauryan coins. A talented military leader, Ashoka was born in 304 BC. He was the son of Mauryan Empire Bindusara. He had one of the younger brother and also a older half brothers. Early on, he showed great promise when he started showing success as a military leader. His older brother began to fear that Ashoka would ascend to throne. When an uprising occurred in Takshila province, the Prince Sushima suggests to his father that Ashoka would be the best person to deal with it. When the news reached the province that Ashoka was coming, the fighting stopped. Militia who started the revolt welcomed Ashoka's arrival. With this victory, Sushima became more concerned about Ashoka. He portrayed him as in power, hunger, and ambitious. Soon he has convinced his father to exile Ashoka to Kalinga. In exile in Kalinga, Ashoka fell in love with Kaurvaki, who worked as a fisherwoman. She would later be one of many wives. His exile was soon ended when there was an uprising in Ujjain province. Emperor Bindusara now called Ashoka back from exile and sent him to Ujjain. This time there was a great battle and Ashoka was seriously hurt. During his recovery, he was overseen by Buddhist monks and nuns. It was during the time that he learned about Buddhism. He fell in love with his nurse Devi. She would become one of his wives. The year after battle at Ujjain, the Emperor Bindusara became very sick. It was clear that he would die. Soon war broke out between all of his sons who would succeed the emperor. After the series of battles, the Ashoka killed many of his brothers. He thus attained the throne in 274 BC. For the first 8 years of his rule, he became the famous for his brutality and his desire to expand the modern empire. His nickname at that time was Chand Ashoka, which means cruel Ashoka. This is a site of Kalinga battlefield today. Battlefield of Kalinga. Battle of Kalinga. So when Ashoka was in his 8th year of rule, his wife Devi gave to birth to twins, Prince Mahendra and Prince Sanghamitra. He also learned that one of his brothers was hiding in Kalinga. Ashoka was outraged that any place would aid his brother. His launched and full invasion of province in fighting. Thousands of people were killed and large area of land were ravaged. After the battle, Ashoka decided to look over the destruction. The place that he had been exiled now lay in the utter collapse with house burned down and many bodies still unburied. It was said that it was the first time that Ashoka saw the direct impact of war. According to legend, upon seeing the utter devastation, he said, "What have I done?" For the rest of life, he would not forget the horror that he saw on this day. These are the picture of Ashokan pillar at Vaishali and the close-up of lion at Vaishali. The conquest of Kalinga of 271 to 261 BC was only aggressive war fought by Third Modern Empire. Ashoka and suffering he saw during this war helped him turn the emperor away from violence and towards a more peaceful. Ashoka has inherited a vast empire from his grandfather Chandragupta Maurya and father Bindusara, covering most of the northern and central India and much of the south. After the start of his regime, the two main areas outside his control were Tamil, southern tip of subcontinental, and the coastal kingdom of Kalinga. When Ashoka came to the throne, Kalinga was surrounded on three sides by the modern empire. According to the surviving reports from Megasthenes, the Seleucid ambassador to the modern court, the kingdom of Kalinga had army of 60,000 infantry and 1,000 cavalry and 700 elephants. Ashoka's invasion took place in 8th year of his reign. The conquest of Kalinga was completely within a year, but only after the defenders put up a stubborn resistance. According to Ashoka's own inscription, 150,000 people were taken into captivity and 1 lakh were slain, and many more died of famine or because of disturbance caused by passing armies. This heavily caused distressed Ashoka, who came to realize that all of these deaths were entirely his fault as the aggressor. Within 4 years, his inscription stated that even 1,000th part of his cost of the war would be matter of deep regret. Ashoka renounced aggressive war and spent the rest of his reign promoting Buddhism and concentrating on the enlightened government of his empire. Death of Ashoka. Ashoka ruled for over 40 years and 50 years after his death. The Mauryan Empire came to an end. He had numerous wives and many heirs, but most of the names are lost. Buddhism did not, of course, stay the state religion of India. Still empowered by the Ashoka, Buddhism quickly spread outside of India border into Southeast Asia. Today's Ashoka Chakra, the wheel of Dhamma, is featured on the national flag of India. Ashoka used this image of many of his constructions. The wheel has 24 spokes which represent love, courage, patience, peacefulness, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control, selfness, self-sacrifice, truthfulness, righteousness, justice, mercy, graciousness, humanity, empathy, sympathy, godly knowledge, godly wisdom, godly moral, reverential fear of God, hope, trust, faith in the goodness of God. Thank you. Here I'm ending my video.
Hello guys, I'm Pranav Sharma of 9th and today we are going to talk about Ashoka's War of Kalinga. The Kalinga War is the most famous war fought between the Mauryan Emperor, the Great Ashoka, and the state of the Kalinga. Kalinga was a feudal republic state now known as Odisha. This war was the only battle which Great Ashoka ever fought. The war began in 261 BC, which was the 8th year of the reign of the Ashoka. Bindusara, the father of Ashoka, had made some attempts to conquer the Kalinga, but he had been defeated. The king of Kalinga was Raja Anant Padmavan during this time. After death of Bindusara, Ashoka's father, Ashoka took complete charge to annex Kalinga. After taking ammunitions to protect their land, the brave and loyal people of Kalinga fought fearlessly against the army of Mauryan Empire. But unfortunately it turned into an infamous bloodshed battle. Around 10k Kalingan civilians and more than 10,000 of Ashoka's own warriors died during this war, and the river running next to battlefield also turned into red color for next 7 days. Ashoka felt that he was the cause of this destruction, which made him devote his rest of the life to ahimsa, which means non-violence. After Battle of Kalinga, Ashoka ended his military conquest of expansion of his empire, and he ruled over 40 years with peace, harmony, and prosperity, thus honoring him the title of the Great Ashoka.
Hi students, now we will talk about pan-Indian character of the empire. So let's start. Ashoka's empire extended up to Hindu Kush mountains in the northwest. It included the parts of Indus Valley, Kashmir, the foothills of the Nepal, and entire Ganga Delta. Tamaralepti, or modern Tamluk, was an important port on the Bengal coast from where ships sailed for Myanmar and Sri Lanka. The foregoing description suggested the pan-Indian or subcontinental character of the Mauryan Empire. Ashoka ruled over a large part of the Indian subcontinent. So now let's talk about the main advantages of pan-Indian character of Ashokan Empire. First, it resulted in the disappearance of small state. The second, it enabled the rulers facing foreign invasions successfully. The third, it facilitated trade and commerce with front-end towns as well as the Middle Eastern and Greek cities.
Hello everyone, I am Dikshan and today I am here to tell you about sources of revenue of Mauryan Empire. Arthashastra provide a detailed list of sources of revenue which include land revenue from mines and forest, revenue from manufactured groups of various kinds, tolls payable for using bridges and roads, fines and license. Kautilya said that taxes must be reasonable. The land tax varied from 1/3 to 1/6 of produce paid either in cash or a kind. Thank you.
Hello friends, today I am going to tell you about the administration of King Ashoka in his Mauryan Empire. So, the Ashokan inscriptions mention for such governors posted at Takshila, Ujjain, Tosila and Suvaragiri, which was the southern provinces. The Ashokan inscriptions refer to three classes of high officials, namely Rajukas, Yuktas and Mahamritas. There were three kinds of administration. One was provincial, one was district and one was central of the city administration. Now, according to Arthashastra, the Nagaraka who functioned as a city supremate or a city magistrate with a number of officers assisting him. The duties of Nagaraka according to Kautilya were the provision of water to the city dwellers, the maintenance of the public roads. This was the city administration.
Hello everyone, today I Akriti have came up to you to tell you about the Mauryan administration. The king was the supreme head of the state and had military, judicial and executive powers. He also had the power to enact laws. We learn from the Megasthenes that the king was a very hard-worked official. The Council of Ministers, the Mauryan Empire was founded by Chandragupta Maurya but reached its zenith under Ashoka. The Mauryan Empire 332 BC was now comes to the Mauryan Empire government structure, large bureaucratic government divided into provinces. Each province was ruled by a prince similar to Persian satraps. Council of Ministers assisted princes. Large army helped keep control, paid for by taxes. The Mauryan Empire civil administration, central of administration, the king and the Council of Ministers. The sources of revenue, how they used to collect the revenue. Chanakya and Kautilya was the prime minister of the Chandragupta Maurya at the time. He was known for his intellect and he is the one of the devised his revenue system. While Chanakya wrote the duties of the collector general, he also mentioned the items on which the revenue will be implied. These items were a share of land output, other dues and cesses levied on land including a water rate. The water rate varied according to the nature of the land and crop and tax on the houses in towns. Now we come to city administration. The Mauryan Empire administration, the Mauryan Empire was divided into 4 provinces which with the imperial capital at Patliputra. From Ashokan edicts, the name of the 4 provincial capitals were Tosali in the east, Ujjain in the west, Suvarnagiri in the south and the Takshila in the north. Army was organized into 4.
The Mauryan Empire. The Mauryan Empire was a unique event in Indian history. Its importance lays in circumstances in which it was arrived. It was done against The Ashoka, the great leader, was born in 304 BC in Patliputra. He was emperor of Maurya dynasty. The great leader like Chandragupta Maurya and Ashoka were spreading the message of Buddhism. The peace and good order during Ashoka. There were three main factors for result of peace and good order during Ashoka. Number one was the general honesty of people. Number second was the efficient administration of criminal law. And number third was the Maurya economy based on agriculture and trade. Now comes the productive agriculture. Megasthenes assess the fertility of soil due to mainly fertility because of seduction linked them. And according to Arthashastras, the taxes will depend on irrigational facility available to cultivators and could arrange 1/3 to 1/6 of land. Now here comes the lucrative trades. The trade was carried by both land as well as waterways, and the royal highway ran from Daksina to Patliputra, and the ship nailed fair east coast. Sri Lanka, Burma, the British literature referred to sea voyage from Gujarat to Babylon. Thanks for watching. Hope liked by everyone.
Hello, this is Anshuman. Today I am talk about Dhamma. The horror sign of war, the converts Ashoka, the chief converts, and right to not might, the source of Ashoka Dhamma inscription display at many prominent places. They consist of 14 major and several minor rocks found in the 22 location and the 7 pillars, edicts, cave inscription and other inscription. The fundamental principle of Ashoka, truthfulness, Ashima, and truth ceremonial, the set ceremonial, kindness, living creature, and artifice Brahmins. To know about the more Dhamma, follow these pictures. Thank you.
Here the picture of Ashoka. Ashoka was also known as the Ashoka the Great, was the Indian emperor of the Mayura dynasty who ruled almost all the Indian subcontinent from 268 to 322 BCE. The grandson of the founder of the Mayura dynasty, Chandragupta Maurya, Ashoka promoted the spread of the Buddhism across the ancient Asia. Born at the Patliputra, dead at the Patliputra house, Mayura dynasty region 268 to 232 BCE. His parents were Dhinsura and the Subhadangri. Ashoka the Great's ruler was followed by the 50 years of the weak king who did not retain strong central authority. This eventually led to the devolution of the Mayura Empire. In B80 BCE, the Greco-Bactrian king Demetrius conquered the northwestern India territories and founded the Indo-Greek kingdom. Buddhism lost the favor when the Sunga dynasty came in the power but renamed the denomination. Buddhism lost the favor when the Sunga dynasty gained the power. The general Pushyamitra Sunga staged a coup against the Mayura dynasty in 185 BCE. As the result, he ascended the throne and founded the Sunga dynasty.